Peace to the family. We are now live. It's Brother Rich. Got a great program for you tonight lined up with Brother Panic. We're going to get Brother Panic on the lines tonight, family. I'm going to call him live in a little while. And we're going to get started. We are here to promote this conference, man, that I think is very beneficial for our people at this time. We have to, we're always talking about taking the culture back. Very important. We lost everything during our when we went to sleep. When the gods went to sleep, the gods forgot who they were. So, it was very easy to take advantage of us, whether, when we started creating shit, whether it was inventions, they stole all types of inventions from us, whether it's hip hop, the biggest industry in the world, whether it's, spirituality, ancient knowledge has turned into quote unquote new age information. Like the shit is new, it ain't new. It's the shit we've been into. So, we're taking the culture back in a lot of ways. So, yeah, we're going to get Brother Panic on the air right now. In a little while, I just want the chats to fill in a little bit so the brother won't come to an empty chat room. You know what I'm saying? Can't have that happening. What's going on, family? How y'all doing out there? All right. Ernest George, Moon Goddess, Stuffy Graham Charm, Ellis Earl, Jamal Davis, Patrima Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? Jazz Z. Clary Codehead. You know what I'm saying? I hope I'm saying that right, Codehead. Textbook. Shout out to all the family. So let me get started. Let me play some ads for my sponsors. These brothers and sisters who have magnificent black businesses in the community that I need y'all to support. Check it out, family. Family, let's get Brother Panic on the line real quick. Let's not waste time. Call the brother real quick. Let's get him on the line right now. Get this show started. You know what I'm saying, family? We're going to do this thing right.
Yeah.
Brother Panic, man, you are live, man. Underground Railroad, man. You on YouTube, man. The family's filling up the chat room right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, my brother.
Yeah, always glad to be back. What's going on, Brother Rich?
Yo, when you come through, man, I'm going to tell you, there's something about your aura, your presence. Yo, when you come through, the vendors be like, a vendor called, two vendors. First of all, a vendor called me the other day, and I seen a vendor at last event for King Simon. He was like, yo, Brother Panic's coming. He see the flyer. He was like, hold on. Panic gonna be there? He said, "Yo," he said, he
I
said,
don't know what it is,
he
neither.
said,
I'm
he
just as
said,
clueless
yo,
too.
he said, son about that nigga's energy, man. He said, my pockets be better when he come in the building, man. He said, I don't know what magic, yeah, I swear. He said, I don't know what magic that nigga do. I don't know what voodoo.
That's
but,
good to hear. I'm glad. I'm
but,
glad to hear that. I'm glad
yeah,
to hear that.
but, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I promise you, I have no clue what it is too. People just show up, but you know, I always give credit to the message. You know what I'm saying? Not even to myself. The message is so much. I mean, I'm sure it's got something to do with me, but ultimately, it's that message that people are hearing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you know that energy brings so much people. So I give all credit to that message. Because if I tried to figure it out, I would have no fucking clue. I've been cursing people out for years. But everybody's always coming with hugs and how much I changed their life. I'm like, I was not trying to do that shit. The original plan was this. Everybody kept asking me questions on MySpace. It was the same shit. I said, well, if I do one blog talk show with Brother Rich, I could just link them. That was the idea, just to do one show to answer everyone's questions and never talk again. That shit did not work out.
Did not work.
You know,
it
did not at all. But you know, I'm happy where I'm at. You know, I'm glad to be able to speak, and in the end, to truly help people find their own way. You know, because we get caught up in this idea, and that's where the arguing comes in, that we have the one right way. You know what I'm saying? And everything else must be argued with or in opposition. Mm-hmm. But I read many in many occult books, and they even referenced Egypt. And the reference was the Egyptians would laugh at debating because they understood there were many pathways to light. So there's no wrong way as long as you're receiving light. You get what I'm saying? So you question what it is, whatever it is you're doing. And from all my heart, I really don't give a fuck. That's why I don't have no argument, no dog in the fight, no position to stand on besides being enlightened. Mm-hmm. So if you become a Boy Scout and become enlightened, you know what I'm saying, then more power to you. I have no argument with that. I don't care. There's just different levels of light you should be trying to receive. So if people are still talking and you know, criticizing, arguing about how someone receives light, that alone proves the level you on. You get what I'm saying? We don't even have to get to your argument. The fact that you arguing about it proves your level. And it's beneath me personally to even really address any of that. You either finding light or you not. So my quest was pretty much to find light. And I was, just because I'm able to speak and reflect it, a lot of people have been using methodologies that I laid down to find their own story. Because just like you're the individual, you actually have your own story. We've been duped into this, and I know I'm getting right into it, but we've been duped into this idea of we all have to think and get on the same page, and then we can move forward. No, we all need to have something to add to a pot for something to move anywhere. We have nothing to add because we don't know ourselves. This shit is called know thyself, not know your race. And ultimately, when you know yourself as the individual, then you'll be able to see the reflection of yourself in all your people, in all their faces. And because what becomes good for the goose becomes good for the gander. If you hate yourself and you don't believe what's coming out your own head, how the fuck you gonna believe what's coming out of anybody else's head? Right. And that's real shit right there. Like I dealt with magic. My last lecture was on believing or trusting in that there's a knowing inside of you, and that knowing is always communicating with you. And when we hear this knowing talk to us, for years, all I get is people questioning it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it just comes down to me understanding you don't even trust what's coming out your own black head, much less what some nigga standing there. Some nigga may stand there, speak well, and make you feel good, and say things that don't interrupt you or interrupt your ego. But you don't believe that, nigga, because that's why nothing ain't happening. What I teach is for you not to believe me, not for you to believe me because I say so. I show you all the books I got. Sit there and try to tell you some deep shit and then act like I made it up. You ain't gonna tell me the megahertz frequency is 98.7 on cancer and 31.7 on this and that, and then just walk away. You didn't make them numbers up, and you didn't discover the frequency of cancer and the frequency of health. You got that information from somewhere. If you so much love the people so much, do them the fucking honor of telling them where you read it from. Give them the credit to be able to read it for themselves and make their own determination instead of you trying to win an argument, trying to explain to them what's better. So it's this integrity thing that needs to really come back online in this whole conscious scene for it really to be true to its form, true to its invention, true to its purpose. You know, it's really very few, and I'm glad and honored, and that's why I always stand for and with Brother Rich, even when I have doubts. You know, Rich will say some shit and show me his integrity, and then all doubts are gone about you know what we're doing here, because there's very few who are actually still sticking with this integrity thing. And on December 16th, I'm glad to stand with all of them. These are people from the beginning, and they stand and stuck with integrity. And that's what we need to look for. People who have no agenda but to give you the message based upon their study and let you do with it what you will. I mean, there was a popular lecturer that told everybody about the dangers of cell phones. And, you know, this guy, you know, was doing all the lecture shit. Somebody told me about this. Everything you heard in the lecture with a cell phone. And then the actual lecturer walked up on a cell phone. And the dude was distraught. But you said, he said, oh, yeah, I know what I said, but nigga, that's the science. But still, nigga, I got to make phone calls. You know what I'm saying? and when I tell you who it is, you're really going to be laughing. I'll tell you later. But cause the whole idea of the lecture circuit, which now is really misconstrued. See, the guy who may have thought the lecturer, and it's not so far-fetched that a lecturer would live like he's talking. I mean, that's the point. But where it's carried away is because you expect your preachers to be flawless, instead of understanding consciousness was an information share at first. Now, if I had to tell a story of me, I said, oh, I get it. There's a bunch of information. This information is endless. That's one of the things that hit me. You could go on for days. And I know how to research, I know how to study, and I know how to regurgitate and absorb information all day. So I don't have a problem with that. And I know how to speak fancy. But that doesn't mean anything in the end. Because if you win doing all of this and you become the king of the hill, undisputed, undebatable, the greatest on top, then what are you? Then what have you accomplished? The next step after all this information share is putting some of this information to work, methodology. And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit more on the 16th. So I'm not going to give it all away, but putting wisdom and understanding into it so you can actually start to live these things you keep telling yourself you are, trying to convince yourself you are. How do you live these things? That comes from a frequency, a God frequency, a frequency of thought, a frequency of being, a frequency of becoming. And those things are very specific. And I don't think we know how to get into that frequency. So I want to lay some of those things down, how your thoughts are vibrations that are magnets, and everything in your existence, everything that you can stands before you in any context is the doing of you, not the doing of somebody else, not the doing of Trump, you know what I'm saying, not the doing of anything. All of that works based upon your participation in it whether, and it has nothing to do whether you like it, you think it's good or bad, your participation. So even if you have a whole bunch of black people all day screaming, crying about Trump, white people, what we need to do, economics, this and that, once you step outside of the box and leave the argument, because every black person would technically have an argument, would have a dog in that fight, would have skin in the game. But if you're able to do that, that's what the occultist is trained to do. Step outside. That's the mental alchemy you do in the law of polarity. Become the middle point. Once you understand like and unlike are the same thing, then you no longer become the victim of picking arguments or sides. Like and unlike are the same. That's the law of polarity. So the mental alchemy is to become the middle point, and that just happens. You just don't choose sides. Doesn't mean you don't have compassion for one thing or other, or a personal feeling about it, but you don't act on it. You get what I'm saying? You don't act I know it hurts people. You don't act on the feeling or the emotion of Trayvon Martin. Many black boys die every day. See, the problem is we think death is a problem. See, once we understand death isn't a problem, what's the problem really with Trayvon Martin? It's your ego that doesn't like that this fat white racist did it and got off with it. And I don't like that neither. But I understand by doing this work and as an occultist, by me getting emotionally invested in that, that's worse than that's worse than me saying fuck that. I don't care about him or Trayvon for that matter. In the context of me wearing a hood, eating Skittles and shit, for the mere fact that I'm not adding to the ritual that they're trying to do. And it's quite simply control black people. And to control black people because they understand what makes you tick emotionally. Therefore, that's just, and there's many aspects of mind control and emotional control that you're under. And the idea is to stand in that middle point. That's the mental alchemy. And by standing in that middle point, you're able to have a clear view. So when I have a clear view of when I see the entire conscious community, or most of it, I should say, arguing about everything white. Not saying the arguments are invalid, not saying they are unjustified, not saying you ain't 100% right. But the fact that you're involving yourself in it makes it alive. You get what I'm saying? Makes it alive. And that's what we have to do. We have to if we're going to do a we thing, we have to turn our attention directly towards us.
Right. Good.
Yes, sir. No, that's it. Yes, sir.
No, yeah. So and that's what this God Frequency Conference is all about, turning our attention toward us. Because, I was telling, I had a live stream the other day, and I was just talking myself, and I was telling the people that, a lot of people, they say take the culture back, and I agree with them, but it's not just the, because of hip-hop, the biggest industry in the world, we have no control over this shit. So it's not just hip-hop, it's not just the hair industry, like the Koreans making billions off of the sisters or whatever. It's also our spiritual information. This is our shit. I told him the other day, Bobby said the Europeans was the custodians for this information. We knew we consciously gave them this information because we knew we would go to sleep. So now that we are awake, this is our shit, but they have labeled it new age, so it throws us off, and we think it's some new shit that somebody just discovered or stumbled upon.
Right. And some way the place the world is moving to.
Some futuristic thoughts.
Right.
But it's really some ancient thoughts that was lost along the way. We done been through so much as a people, whether we lost our language, whether we lost our culture, whether we lost what kind of motherfucking food we eat, whatever. But I want to rediscover ourselves at this conference, and I think you are one of the main brothers that will help us. That's not scared to go out there.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Because certain things, we've been so into religiousized. I don't know what's that word. We're so much
religified. Yeah.
Making shit.
All that shit. Religiousized.
You know what I'm saying? The shit you say, Panic, scares people. You look scary and you sound scary. So
yeah, I need to wear some. I should wear some scary shit. Then I should wear some devil shit. You know, all hail Satan shit. You know what I'm saying? And hope people can see how silly that is.
You know what I'm saying?
That is just as silly as worshiping Jesus.
Oh, man.
They're both the same fantasy thing.
Uh-huh.
We got to understand, we can talk a little bit about darkness and what's scary. What's scary is the thing you walk to. That's your spirit saying, I'm not on this level. That's why I fear it. Fear is that which you just don't know, that which is unknown. So anything you so-called fear should be an indication. Remember, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. Should be an indication of what your next study is. Of what your next study is. It should be that's exactly where you go. So when people are, oh, what should I read? What should I study? What are you scared of? Because that's your spirit trying to say this has a power. And it's really the illusion of being unknown, but based upon, you know, our situation, because all of these things are within us.
No, panic.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to cut you off, but before I forget, because the last time we talked, I wanted to ask you this, and I completely forgot because of whatever. Everything you're saying right now. All right, listen. When I was young, I used to always have these reoccurring dreams when I was young. Let me see. How old was I probably? This was before high school. I don't know. I was young, probably like motherfucking 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I would always have these dreams. I go to sleep at night. And I'm talking about for years, I would have this reoccurring dream that I look in the mirror and I see a fucking monster. And I don't see, and that shit was scared as shit. And in my dream, I would run. I would be like, what the fuck? And I would run like a motherfucker or something like that. Then I wake up, I'm like, yo, I keep seeing this fucking monster. I keep seeing. So one day, and you know, kids are always scared of monsters and they're scared of the dark. And one day, in my dream, I kept telling myself while I'm awake, I'm gonna get that motherfucker when I go to sleep. So one day when I was asleep, I seen a monster. I was like, what's up? What's up? The motherfucker just disappeared. The image of the monster just disappeared. So
perfect.
So I'm like, is this some misinformation we was taught about monsters? Is this some misinformation we was taught about any of this where we're taught to be scared of this? And is this like an inner energy within us or something like that, Panic?
Well, without the answers, see, fear, there's no emotion that's not useful. So what is actually fear? Fear in its best case scenario is a warning system for that which you're not ready for, that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't know how to swim and somebody stood you in the end of a deep ass pool, fear is going to come in. There's nothing in the pool. There's no monster in the pool, but you fear that you may die. We don't say drowning, but it's really, you're just fearing death at the end of the day. You're fearing the possibility of death. So if you know how to swim and you've been swimming for years, that pool offers absolutely nothing because it's something you know and you know how to do. So now, if we take this in an all-around thing, there's a thing. Remember, they'll say you have to face your demons. You face one of your demons. Now, you were probably too young and not sophisticated enough to understand what that monster represented. You get what I'm saying? But it represented something inside of you because you were looking in the mirror. So you were seeing something that you had to get over. And just the mere fact that you said what you said, I'm going to kick his ass when I see him. You pretty much stood up to that fear in you. And that's actually how you break through light, because out of darkness comes light. The monster represented darkness. So the light was you actually facing and seeing there was nothing to fear.
Nothing. Yeah.
There was nothing there. So along with all this Satanism and all the rest of this so-called dark side shit, there's nothing there.
Yo, brother,
when
Panic,
I got in this shit,
the monster never put up a fight. Nothing, just disappeared. Like, once I was like, "What's up?" I was like, "What's up?" It just dissipated. Now I never had a dream again.
It never was a fight. It was just really about you looking at your own fear. It never was a fight. None of it's a fight. I remember when I first got in the car, I'm like, okay, let me go slow. I hear niggas could go crazy and all this shit. Only one time I called out like a fucking 108 demons. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have did that shit. I was feeling that shit in my head. But then it went away. Bobby used to say it, but then me too. I started doing all the wildest shit I could think of. And I was like, yo, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing crazy. You know, ain't no like, oh man. Now I can tell you 1,000 stories of shit spiritually that happened, but no fear, no scary, no dark nigga appeared and said, why have you summoned me? And now I will never leave. You know, shit like that. I remember fear is an excellent ignorance. See, let's move all this shit around to where we at as black people. Ignorance. And this ignorance generates fear. So you could be manipulated by what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So what I teach, I'm clear on. This is what we did. My whole goal was not to find out a philosophy like what science we had then became Moors, or what science we had then became this or that, or Sufi or whatever. What the fuck are we? What was the core when you look at these things collectively of why we on the planet, and what the fuck were we trying to do and figure out with all the shit we was doing? Mm-hmm. And when you look up and down the middle, it's only one thing we were trying to do: die and never come back. Show me the ancient study where they're talking about economics. All that shit you talking about in African cultures and all that shit is later day Africa. Later day. They're just as fucked up, and they were fucked up. They were getting fucked up and going to sleep then. That's how we woke the fuck up over here, because we were already going to sleep. That's how the fuck white people rose up. We were already going to sleep. But before all of that shit, when we ran the world, what were we trying to do? There were those who know and those who ran, and those who fucking had cattle. And the ones who know and went in the mystery system, they were trying to have a wonderful death and never come back. They did rituals to it, put gold in caskets. Everything was about a send off to the next life. It was, and all of that gold in casket wasn't for everybody. That was symbolic of what everyone was supposed to be doing. Your riches are in the next world. So anything from this, the idea, the goal from this world was the knowledge you had as you walk through a lifetime. And if you build up that knowledge, they symbolically put all the gold in the tombstone. Niggas, you know, you'll out here these little jabs. Egyptians try to take it with them. You think they were that stupid? They was trying to take gold. They was gonna wake up and say, "Oh, I got my motherfucking, I got my chain and my two-step, my drink and my two-step." They were like, no, they were bringing this because it symbolically represented the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that they found in this earth, on this earth plane. So they're bringing that to the next life, because that's what gold actually represented, that light. And they represented gold as the sun because it just represented light. Now, so this fear that we're being manipulated by is something you have to fight yourself. Just to say, we trying to fight it collectively, hoping somebody black will say something and do something, or come up with something that we could join up with that's effective, because we're scared. When still all of this denies us from looking internally. And most people just really don't know how to do that. It's really that monster in the mirror that you have to face, which is yourself. Ain't got nothing to do with the black race. Tell me in your dreams how many white people show up doing shit.
Shit, no, I don't think
exactly. They don't exist there. You know what I'm saying? Listen, my whole thing was to talk to spirits. I have done that successfully. I don't need to brag because it ain't about me, but I can tell you all that shit that these niggas pray to and had dreams of combing these deities' hairs. I talk to them like me and you talk. And they ain't talking that shit, that Alafia shit. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas is like, when this shit is over and they find out ain't no white people up here and it's us that's fucking y'all up spiritually to keep y'all down there, what are they going to do to us? I said, y'all better change your fucking names. Because when niggas find the general public, when this is all over and there's no more this matrix that stands for them to come to, and they're still stuck in the astral world somewhere, with not understanding, and you still can transform from the astral world, and that's going to fall probably after this. If let's say the whole thing is falling down, they're going to find out ain't no white people up there, ain't no economics up there, ain't no health food up there. What are you preparing to live here forever, or do you know you came from somewhere else and you going to somewhere else? You have to have a more holistic understanding of your existence. And all the stuff that people are arguing, spitting out the mouth, going crazy for is just shit from humanity. And that's a fact. Food is a product of humanity, and humans have to eat it. Stop spiritualizing this diet plan. You may feel better when you eat vegetables and eat whatever you desire. But when you start to become this cheerleader, this goddamn activist, then you have lost your fucking mind. Eating is for humans. Economic plan is for humans. How long do you plan on being human? How long are you not going to factor in your spirituality? Because,
I'm glad you said that, Panic, because vegans will act like just because they vegan, they have some spiritual advantage over the rest of humanity. And I have met some fucked up. I've met a lot of fucked up vegans in my life. I've met some niggas that's so grimy and they're vegans. A conscious person wouldn't believe it. They would say, "Oh my God, is that possible? He doesn't eat meat. I thought meat makes you an animal." So
makes you aggressive. Yeah. Apparently broccoli got a mean streak, because I've noticed that same thing. I'm not the first. Other people have said that. You meet these vegetarians, they're the most ornery, most defensive, the most argumentative, the most, why the fuck you eating that? You know what I'm saying? And you like, wait a minute, calm down, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I haven't eaten beef or pork since the 80s. Longer than these niggas' pride. You know what I'm saying? I'm still on that chicken. I tried to stop that shit. I had a dream about wings every night. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm still a chicken guy. I barely eat fish. Yeah. But long and short of it, I don't feel no more aggressive or no more timid or no more connected to anything. You know what I'm saying? We got to understand our minds are controlling it, and our minds can deal with things based upon brain waves, and brain waves are frequency. And you could either have a human frequency or a God frequency. You get what I'm saying? Right. So it's your choice. And I don't judge you either way, but don't play in my arena, because I deal with the God frequency. You'll be able to understand that on the 16th in New York. You get what I'm saying? We deal with God frequency, and the human frequency is a very different thing. And so I don't ignore the human experience that I'm having. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to eat any old thing, but then again, I'm not going to make myself feel better based upon my food choices. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make myself feel better based upon food choices. Because even within the realm of food choice, people, they argue too about what fucking berries to take and not to take.
Do they?
You know what I'm saying?
Man, shit.
It'll go on forever. Should you eat salt? Shouldn't you not eat salt? You'll go on fucking forever. But then show me the 100-year-old vegetarian. I haven't met them yet. Where's the 100-year-old vegetarian? But every time on the news, they show these old church-ass, jelly pork-ass niggas. He's 110 today.
Yo, bro. I'm glad you said that. They had like 2 years ago, there was I don't know if it was a black person. I don't know if it was a brother or sister. Motherfucker was like 100 or something like that. They like, what's the secret to living long? Nigga said, I eat a strip of bacon every day.
Yeah. Bobby used to tell a story where a nigga said he drank a pint of night train, and he take a piece of pork fat and just sizzle it, and he say one piece, he like 110, some more ridiculous shit like that. And like, you never see that old nigga, I've been eating vegetables since 1947. Like, you feel better, yoga shit. Like, I've seen so-called deep lecturers go on rants about the earth is round. And my thing is, how the fuck do you know? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, well, I really don't remember seeing any Egyptian, because that's where they always go to the Egyptian shit like nothing else exists, where the world is round. I don't remember them saying it actually. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is not pick flat or round as much as it's like, I know I'm going to say, I don't know where the fuck we at. I know what we need to do though, whether it's round, flat, or a pier. We need to get the fuck off of here. You know what I'm saying? At least you got to be quite honest. I'll say that because I'm lecturing, but the reality is you only leave them when you're ready to leave. The same way when you was ready to face that demon in the mirror is something you did on your own. You can't do it with your mother or your parents. They may be able to advise you, but it's something you have to do. True consciousness is something you have to do personally. And you then could get to a level where you can unify with others. What you will see, if you're truly consciousness, you won't have to come up with an economic plan. Your true God frequency is an economic plan. I don't never think about money, but I don't know how to stop getting it from any avenue at this point. Because when I did think about money, I did the programming work to get on that God frequency, to get on that frequency. So knowing that money becomes a tool where it now makes my humanity shut up. So the God frequency is to get a tool to shut down the humanity as opposed to get money, because that's what we do here, son. Nah, it ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't give a fuck about it. You can't eat it and it can't hug you. I don't care about it. But it's an excellent tool so your humanity doesn't get involved with your spirituality. So pretty much by becoming spiritual, all those things I see people saying, what should we do? It's like these answers come to me personally about what I should do. And if we're doing and hearing everything we should do as individuals, you will find that's where the unity truly happens, in the God frequency. That's where the unity, that's where mind connects mind. We see eye to eye. They don't say eyes to eye. They say we see eye to eye, one eye. That means your pineals are connected. That means you're talking about I see you. All that namaste, I see you. They're talking about that part of you that's real. They're not talking about I see you as a human. Because I see thousands of funky ass humans all day. They drive me in Ubers. So it's not like namaste, I see you. It's like, no, I see the God in you. And what is the God in you? That's what I'm dealing with, the God in you. That God in you is always trying to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? But it can't talk through a human frequency. So I get it with having a human experience and certain things you need to do as a human. You know what I'm saying? I got to drag my garbage out on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I got to sweep out. I got to vacuum the rug. Of course, we're not denying anything human, but we're putting it in its proper place. You have human at the top of your buddy list. When I became spiritual, all my human problems I don't even put attention to them shits. You know what I'm saying? They seem to just always have an answer, always be answered, have an answer, and there's always a way. And it seems like it's impossible, but now I understand why people would call that magic. But I'm really explaining how you did. I delved into so hard into spirituality that the spiritual knowing started lining my life up. Instead of lining my life up with my humanity, which is thinking, trying to figure shit out, I went to my spirituality, which is knowing, and connected to all divine minds, Akasha. Therefore, all the answers are there that I need. But only when I look within, and only when I first deal with those demons in the mirror looking back at me. You know what I'm saying? When I say they ain't there, I need my message. Y'all got to move out the way. And that's really happening is in your mind. That's how you open up a gateway. So you actually open up another level. Probably something happened in your puberty that might have changed, or in your maturity that might have changed at the time. But those are the things you do. Yes, sir.
Panic. I remember Bobby Hemmings saying, "We are the monsters." So is a monster?
Yes.
Is it even a bad thing to
I'll tell
see
you
a
about
monster?
That. No, not at all. What he's talking about, which actually I was going to bring up, because I bring it up in my classes about when I deal with the Necronomicon, about this concept called the monster. There's a primal, primary, or first aspect of your pineal. Then there's this beautiful third eye thing we know. Then there's Kundalini. She's beautiful. There's a goddess Kundalini. And then there's the primal version. The primal version of Kundalini would be Medusa. She's a monster, but she is Kundalini without humanity yet. You understand? When it becomes humanity, she becomes Pegasus. Or when you look in the Hindu pantheon, you have the primal version, which is this pure sexual energy of Kundalini or life force energy, and that is Shakti. Then later, she becomes the goddess Kundalini. Durga, this primal goddess of destruction, as she destroys human ignorance, she's the anti-humanist, is later they dumbed her down and made her Durga. So she looks a little bit more human now. We've seen Freddy Krueger, so that picture of Kali doesn't scare us. But back then, that was a menacing picture. You get what I'm saying? When there was no Jason or Freddy Krueger. So the monster, like the Titans, Cyclops is your third eye, but before he becomes humanized. Therefore, the monster. So on the other side, all your power looks like a monster. It would be monstrous to this side. Let me explain something. I'm going to give them a freebie from class. I explain your subconscious mind thinks very sinister. You ever have thoughts about killing people and just catch yourself like, God damn. Like, let's say your brother does something and you're like, man, you see yourself choking his ass for a minute. You just driving, let's say you're driving up the street or zoned out on the train. But then you start thinking what you're going to do with the body, how you're going to drain the blood. And then you catch yourself, you come back to consciousness like, God damn, that shit was morbid. You was like daydreaming about this shit. Or you see some girl, you was like, God damn, I wish I could just pull her pants down in the middle of the street, throw a quick one and just like, it was like, and just keep going. And you know you think it, but you would never do it. It's insane. It's rape. It's crazy. You not only would you go to jail, people won't like you anymore. No one will say hotep to you. And but these thoughts into your mind. So, and there's many more thoughts. People cut you off online, cut you off in traffic. Like, motherfucker, I want to choke this nigga, and so on and so forth. In other words, you have a bunch of monstrous thoughts in your mind, but what you've been trained to in morality stops these monsters. Or your morals are nothing but humanity. So humanity is actually the governing over these monsters, right? That's the difference. So when you hear the Necronomicon, and he's saying the monsters are in a dimension right close to humanity. You understand? He's talking about in your mind, that your subconscious mind, which is a monster unchecked. And Freud talked about that. Freud talked about the ego, the superego, and the id. I can't remember. I read it when I was a kid. But one is morality and one is unchecked morality. And morality is just something you learn as a human. The unchecked morals is like what you would think. Actually, what kids would do if no one whipped their asses or put them on punishment.
Ooh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They would steal, they would lie, they would cheat, they would steal until they get in trouble enough. So that's really unchecked. And when you get them in trouble enough and start telling them, don't do that, never lie, never do that, or the lectures, you're building up their humanity or their morality for the world. So the morality keeps the monsters at bay, or humanity exists. So in the Necronomicon, they say the monsters in a dimension right next to us. And when they rise up again, they will destroy humanity. So you have 1,000 movies where monsters come up and kill humans, but what they're talking about is the idea of morality will not exist. And this is a future time. So when you look at the Book of the Law, Aleister Crowley, one of the famous quotes, and Jay-Z wore it on his shirt, do as thou wilt. But the whole quote is, do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. He was talking or channeling a deity called Aiwass, who said he was Horus, and was telling him about a future time that we're coming into. They called it the next aeon. And he was giving them rules for the next aeon. Let them die with the dogs of reason. meaning anyone who's still using logic and reasoning, doing that deep shit, you're going to die with that, because we're moving out of that paradigm of logic and dropping science, and that's why it's not happening. And you have a bunch of niggas trying to be deep, repeating shit and sounding fucking so foreign to us. This is a grassroots movement. Why are you talking with these words? You know what I'm saying? This is a grassroots movement. So you're not really connecting to people. You trying to prove how much smarter you are than them, which makes them, as a slingshot, believe that you should be in front of them, talking to them. Just because you can say a lot of fancy words don't mean you should be in front of anybody talking. You're not helping anybody but your goddamn ego. And those are facts. It's not happening because we're moving out of that paradigm of reasoning and logic. Even though this still exists, because again, you're having a human experience, but it's not what rules us. What rules you, what supersedes reason and logic is knowing. Reasoning is trying to figure it out. Logic is trying to use all the clues and come up with the best logical answer to a question. But that's all starting from a place where you got to say you don't know. So you supersede it once you understand that your mind is Akasha and connected to Akasha. Then the occultist says, well, we need to use our wisdom to get an understanding of this, and the understanding is pretty much, that means you already know. So if I already know, I need to, now it tells me my next move is to start working with the way to know constantly, not the way to try to figure it out. So we always hear in content, I'm just trying to figure it out, trying to figure it out. I'll never say that shit no more, because then you're programming yourself to always try to figure it out. And that's what I'm going to deal with in terms of God frequency. If you always saying I'm trying to figure it out, you're not programming yourself with figuring it out. You're programming yourself with trying to figure it out.
Right. Damn.
So
I'm glad you said that.
Right. Exactly. So we have to be careful, because now if we understand that, if we look at the entire dialogue of how we classify ourselves collectively, white people especially, what Trump is doing, and all the rest of that crap, you'll find what frequency we are actually on. And let me say this with all forms of knowing. We don't have to guess or speculate on what I'm talking about. All I have to do is say, look around and see. You cannot vibrate on a frequency. You cannot have an existence that is not the vibration of your thoughts in your mind. We are getting what we're doing. The white man is doing nothing but hoping we still, all he's trying to do is inspire us to keep thinking the way we're thinking.
Damn.
That's it.
Facts.
And even in your so-called radical shit. All you have to do is keep up the good work. See, what you need to do, if for no other reason, is get on some Satan shit, or what you think is Satan shit. Because just cause is different. Just cause is fucking different. And I'm not saying it like something with me. I'm saying if people have a problem with this, you know what I'm saying? Like first and foremost, the first thing you need to find out before you can even deal with me, that there is no man under the ground named fucking Satan. Where does he live? Under the earth? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So there's no man there.
The angel that got kicked out of heaven. What's that about?
Is your pineal gland.
Woo!
Quite simply, to be more specific, your pineal gland.
So we Lucifer? We Lucifer, brother?
Oh, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, I wrote it in my book. I wrote the light bearer, the Lu, the sea. I broke all down. I can't even see. I don't do these things to repeat them, so I don't really remember them. Well, let me drop the signs of Lucifer. Put it in my book. I wrote the Lucifer, and I got it from a book called, a real good book to read where they go hard, actually on Necronomicon. It is out of print. It's called Polaria, The Gift of the White Stone by Mueller. It's like R.H. Mueller or T.H. Mueller. It's actually, oh fuck, I always forget his name. That's actually a pen name, but that's on the book. Mueller, The Gift of White, Polaria, The Gift of the White Stone. He talks about the fallen wing of Lucifer. He goes into so much detail where, more specifically, Lucifer's the pineal. Now, how do we know Lucifer's the pineal? I'll give it to you easy. Satan, or Set, is the template for Satan, which is also Saturn. The pineal gland is considered Saturn. When you're illuminated, there's actually a ring that lights up around your pineal gland. Mm. So remember, you asked me before, you said white boys are going through this frenzy talking about Saturn. that Saturn was the sun.
Yeah.
I said, I haven't really heard, but I'm sure you could say just that. Yes, Saturday. I heard when you said it, it came in my conscience. I seen some things. I don't even remember what I seen, but based upon the pineal, I remember them saying it was the original sun, and pretty much it's still connected to the fallen Lucifer. That is now the energy is in the heads of Negroes and all. Well, they said the third eye. It became the third eye when we became humanity and all this shit. Now, Satan, Saturn, and Set are the pineal gland. Set has 72 conspirators. Your pineal gland has 72 chakras on it. Mm-hmm. When those 72 chakras are illuminated and working, that's when you get that ring. The 72 chakras make the ring, and it makes it Saturn. And I got the measurements of Saturn. I got a whole chapter on the number 72 in my book, and how it connects to Saturn, the size of Saturn, the moon, the 1/7, the 1/7 point. Yo, listen, they got 72 and 72 is 144. That's where you get the 144,000. Right. Save. And I can't. What the fuck did I do to break down that number even more? Well, even more so, 72. What was it? 5. Oof, I had to get my book. 360.
You digging deep.
70,
you digging deep.
Yeah. No, 7. What was it? 72. Yeah. 72 times 5 is 360. So, what's his name? What's the boy? Solomon has this ring where he controls the 72 goadic demons, the lesser keys of Solomon.
Right.
So this circle, which is the 72, right, mm-hmm. is all 5 points of the 5 senses of man. So in that Da Vinci picture, when his 5 man is the 5-pointed, and he's in that little circle and square, and then they'll have him in the 5-pointed star. In psychomancy, they talk about how from your pineal you can activate spiritually all 5 senses, and this is the complete man, the 360-degree man that controls the circle or his chalice. And they say the ring was on Solomon's finger, but the ring was his pineal, and it was the 72. He knew how to control the 72 lesser keys. There's also higher keys of Solomon, which is the secret of dark and light have to mix in the pineal. So you can't do it going, I'm dark side. You can't do it, I'm a light worker. Mm. It's actually a mixture of the shit.
Right.
Like all this shit's in my book.
What book is this, Panic? What book is this? Let the people know.
This is my first book. I got 2 books. The second one is almost done. Courtney's about to do it. The first one is the occult origins of civilization. Hollywood Part 1. There's 3 parts in the book.
Awesome.
The middle part I went harder. You can get it on my website, occultlectures.com, and
family. I got it. Awesome book. I told Panic once I got it, and I was reading through it. But family, go to occultlectures.com. Get the book. You hear the gems he's dropping it. I see you on the chat room appreciating his knowledge. Go to occultlectures.com and purchase the book. But the book is off the hook. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, the book is a little bit expensive because most people who get it knew the work. But again, I let people know I don't have a 401k plan. after y'all niggas move off of
Panic,
YouTube.
that ain't
That's
expensive, man. That ain't expensive, man. That's
Yeah, I mean, for the now in the big way, but you know, people don't know the work. They don't understand yet of what they're actually getting. The one I did on 72 was I can't remember the research at the time. Like I'll research, learn it. My thing is I'm not trying to impress anybody. Mm-hmm. So the real way you actually understand is actually it has to penetrate in the subconscious. So that means you got to hit it and forget it. Right. If I'm focused on it, I'm actually leaving it here. So and usually when you leave it here, it becomes a part of your ego. So I don't want to say you got to absorb this information. So there's two ways you're going to absorb this, either through the heart, because it sounds like I'm talking to new people too. So I'll be new friendly. You absorb this consciousness through your heart, which means you have to be a pure heart, meaning you want to know just to know. Or you absorb it with your brain, which is your ego, which is the false you, which means you want to be able to impress somebody at a party, tell your family off, be on YouTube saying a bunch of bullshit, and hope you get a lot of likes, shit like that. Mm-hmm. So true consciousness is from the heart, and that's where the information can be transformative for you. If you get it from the ego or the brain, it will not. So how do you do it? It's simple. Just have no agenda, but to know. Want to know, want to know, want to know. You are actually judged. You are actually judged by not how much you know, but how much you want to know. So always stay thirsty. Don't look at anyone talking to you as a pastor or could save you. Only should be leading you in directions. Only should be leading. I've been doing it for like maybe 10 years, and really it's come down to there's so much information that people will get themselves. It really just comes down to trying to tell people the mentality to have as they study. Mm-hmm. And the mentality, chief number one, is become no information. Be the jack of all trades and the master of none. Learn everything you get your hands on. That makes every moment you go, you are actually truly saving yourself and gaining true riches.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brother.
No. I was just going to say, true riches are light.
Indeed. I wanted to get one more question in for you. The hour's about to be up. Before that, I just want to let everybody know, if you enjoyed tonight's talk with Brother Panic, make sure you come to the God Frequency Conference. I mean, if you're able to be there in person, is the energy that's exchanged in person. I mean, there's nothing like it. To see Brother Panic operate in person, his Panic Packs has changed the entire world. I mean, the brother's absolutely, I don't want to say amazing, I want to say magical. So if you could be there in person, to the God Frequency Conference. Get your advance tickets at godfrequency.eventbrite.com, or you can live stream the event at usalivestream.com/godfrequency. If you're in the New York area and you want advance tickets, you can call me. We can meet up 646-472-4219. If you just want your hard physical ticket and you don't want to play games and you want to be there and skip the line, you could all advanced tickets skip the line, but if you want your hard ticket, you could just call that number or text me and we can meet up. I got a question for you. Before I got the question,
let me say one thing, Rich. I just want to say, I heard y'all out there trying to question Rich's integrity. Is B.O.B. going to be at that lecture? Let me tell you this.
Because they haven't heard. Because, I got him on the fly. They're like, wait a minute. Well, the nigga ain't talk about it yet. So it's
right.
Like,
okay.
Is Rich making this shit up?
We're going to deal with that. No, he's not only is he coming, he's amped to come.
They think I'm making this shit up, man.
Oh, no. Not only is he coming, he's amped to come. Y'all never question Brother Rich's integrity and his ability to deliver. Don't do it. Not Underground Railroad. Don't do it. Oh, he's going to be in the building and he's going to speak. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Brother Phil Valentine's going to speak. Dr. Lim El Bey is going to speak. Dr. Nalani is going to speak. My Queen Khadija is going to speak. Myself, A.A. Rashad is going to speak, going to open up. You know what I'm saying? This is a real deal Holyfield joint right here. This is an event. Come on, you can't miss this. You can't miss this. Like, yo, no lectures like this ain't happened in at least 7, 8 years, 9 years. Maybe we get up on 9 years. This is old school. And if you ain't never experienced a lecture, you better do this. You better. There's nothing like this. You'll never see a YouTube like a live lecture. Never. So you definitely need to see this. If y'all been to the lectures, y'all know the routine. Especially, and I hate to say it from an egotistical standpoint, but it do be lit wherever I go. I don't know how it's happening, but it be lit. You heard that vendor. Oh, shit. He's putting his down payment down. And it's just like I said, I give all the power to the information. It's all the information. So you want to see this information live. I listen, I'll talk. I don't even know what's happening. I don't even remember what we talked. Nothing about what we said today, just now, because I am just channeling. That's how it comes.
You channeling.
So when it's channeling. And when I'm live, I didn't even know it was going to be like that. Like when people be wrapping it up, I'm like, I thought we was about to begin. So I'm gonna have. I know I learned how to condense it into my time. So I'm gonna give y'all a lot of punch. So be prepared. I want to see you there. Be prepared on the 16th. I can't wait.
Indeed. Once again, for advance tickets, the advance ticket information, I see somebody just wrote, will it be live stream? I just said it's going to be live stream, and the information is right on the screen. Just look on the screen, and you can see that it will be live stream. So it will be live stream. Look on the screen, and the ticket information is on the screen as well. Brother Panic, to close it out, I just want to ask, because I want them to come out and see you in person. And man, listen, the shit you said tonight, brother, I mean, you was in a zone like no other tonight. The shit you talk about, brother, we're not going to get many places. We're so caught up in politics right now as a people that information like this, and this information creates the realm. Like, this ain't about Donald Trump. This motherfucker lies so much, he believes his lies, and the shit ends up becoming reality. This motherfucker believes his lies so much that they end up becoming reality.
Yo, the crazy shit is that's magic.
That's magic.
Like, he's literally doing magic.
He fake it until he make it.
They doing rituals. Yeah, he's doing one. Like, in your face, that nigga is doing magic. Sarah Palin is a witch. I'm telling you. That bitch said she seen Rush out her window. Niggas was laughing. I said, y'all don't understand what that bitch saying? That bitch is saying I'm fucking remote viewing. I'm a witch, bitch. She's saying that shit.
So, with that being said, Brother Panic, one of the things that I've heard people say, even Brother Bobby, I've heard people say, all of this talk, Neil deGrasse Tyson or whoever, the show Ancient Aliens, black people say, motherfucker, we are the aliens. So what I want to talk to you about, they say we are the aliens, right? So we the aliens. We come down here. We create a melanated avatar. This melanated avatar we in, artificial intelligence, to exist down here. So we got artificial intelligence so we can navigate this realm, time, space, reality for whatever reason. Then once we get down here, we have a melanated avatar. That avatar wants to create another form of artificial intelligence. Bobby Hemming called it one time the human artificial, the white man. So then the white man gets created. So the white man comes roaming around. He does what he does. Once the white man's created, then he wants to create another form of artificial intelligence. So now we got the top dudes in charge, Tesla and Bill Gates, and all of them saying the next step of humanity is artificial intelligence. It seems like we just keep wanting to create the next level of artificial intelligence. Brother Panic, could you talk to me? What the fuck is going on with that, Brother Panic?
Interesting. Okay, let's start with Neil deGrasse Tyson. You asked a loaded question. Let's start with Neil deGrasse Tyson. I want you to think of something. NASA, which is what he's representing, is another Illuminati, whatever the bad guys are. one of those organizations.
Right.
It's a mind control organization. You got to think on a magic or on a God frequency level for this portion right here. Let's say the world is flat. If I decide to tell you for whatever reason, well, I'll name the reason. If I decide to tell you the world is round, and now we all believe the world is round, we live on the globe. That means if I spun that lie, my ritual is if I fashion or shape the world in the image I say it is, everything I do now has that ritual on it, has that energy on it. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's say you're about to go outside your door, and every time you go out the door, you kiss your lucky nickel. So kissing that lucky nickel, you say everything during the course of the day is because of that nickel. So it's like if I can get you to change, if I could get you in your psyche to change the shape of the world or something so dramatic, it's symbolic. It's a ritual of saying I can then shape the world any way I see fit. So now you have NASA to hold on to this idea, because I can show you in the science too, but it's a whole nother discussion where they speak about a dome, a flat surface, and us being enclosed in it, especially in Gnosticism. Okay. That's a whole nother thing. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, NASA says, well, first remember, the priesthood in Egypt was the scientists. So priests and scientists are the same thing. White people separated it and turned the priesthood into religion and this bullshit called quantum physics and quantum physicians. Neil deGrasse Tyson being a spokesman for that shit. They say we all evolved. We came from nothing. This is all a cosmic mistake. All the shit just lined up, and now you got people. What this does is puts in your psyche that all we are human. We have no purpose. Spiritual shit means nothing. You don't have to look within. There's nothing within because we just happen to be here. And everything we do in humanity is forward, meaning humanity is the only thing we got, so we invest all in humanity. So that's evolution. So and then the other side is those who believe we were created Adam and Eve shit. God. So now they started talking about flat Earth and the Mandela effect and all this weird shit now. White people are calling themselves woke and all the rest of that, and all of this shit is popping up as this new shit. Then NASA has to answer. Then all of a sudden, make the long story short, Neil deGrasse Tyson starts talking about simulations. And even the way he got to that determination was a little bit bullshit. Mm-hmm. But without going through it all, and then he would talk to like dumb people on MTV trying to explain it. Now he goes, we're in a simulation, and we could be a simulation of a simulation of a simulation, simulation of a simulation. He's saying all of this shit. Then it occurred to me, what changed psychologically? First of all, they're real dramatic now. NASA's saying we evolved, which means we're random. There's nothing governing. There's no God. There's an explosion, and we came. There's nothing governing this shit. There's nothing controlling it. Now NASA's saying we're a simulation, and a simulation, which means somebody's making this, and somebody made us. Mm-hmm. So they gave you a straight contradiction from this organization. Mm-hmm. One portion, we come from nothing, and the other one, somebody made us in a simulation. Now, but here's the real trick, Rich. Here's the moral to this story. Why can they do that? Because from evolution, what it tells you in your psyche, I'm from nothing, I come from nothing, I mean nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But now if I say you're assimilation and assimilation, 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 know what that says? I'm nothing. I don't even know where I came from, and I mean nothing. So psychologically, you haven't moved any place. See the ritual? Right. Psychologically, it's the same thing, even though they're talking two different worlds of what the philosophy of this place is now.
Right.
We're either evolved or simulation. It was coming two different worlds, but the psyche, it leaves you in the same psychological place, which is, quite simply, I come from nothing, I mean nothing, and I don't know why I'm here. Or simulation. I come from nothing. I don't know who did this. I don't know why I'm here. And I'm making shit that may go on forever too. I mean nothing. I'm just a cog in the wheel. So they have this. So I'm starting to question all of this simulation and simulation shit. See, this came out in Kabbalah. What they say there's in Kether, Hokmah, and Bina is the archetypal world. Then the world folded over on itself, or copied itself. Then that made a copy of itself. And then the afterthought, Malkuth, is where we live. So they're really saying what it is. There's the real world, and there's a simulation, and a simulation, and a simulation. So they're saying there's 3 simulations. And then we say we're on the third plane, we're in the third dimension. So they're saying there's 3 levels. And when you hear a lot of Jonah in the whale, he's in the whale for 3 days, Jesus is in the cave for 3 days, that's the number I think they're trying to tell us in the either in the hieroglyphs or even in the scriptures is the level of simulation we're on. But it would still, in our science, if we're looking at Kabbalah especially, because they're the ones that they show clear of copy of a copy of a copy thing. And like I said, see, what Bobby would say is when you have a question, see how far you can take it back to the ancient information and try to work from there. Mm-hmm. So that's the clear. Kabbalah is the most clearest, even though there are other things that speak on it, where they say this is a copy of a copy of a copy of the original archetype world. All right, so I think that 3 is like a code for the true level of simulation, but in our ancient study, it would still be us who's creating the simulation. You know what I'm saying? So remember the movie? Oh, here's another one. Another reference to the same way I think we're in the. This actually, to me, the spirit just told me this, and this ends it. The movie, 3 Levels of the Dream, they were saying. Mm-hmm. They're saying you're in 3 levels of the dream. So yet again, I think we're in 3 levels of simulation. I think that's what that means. And the spirit just reminded me that I can't. And I did a breakdown of that movie. What's that movie?
Inception.
Inception. Yeah. And they kept saying 3 levels. We going in 3 levels of the dream, and it was 3 levels of the mind. You know what I'm saying? And then there's unconscious, subconscious, and conscious, or id, ego, and superego, like we said. You know what I'm saying? So that 3, I think that 3 is the level, because they look at it as quantum world is the real world, then the astral world, and then Earth, and maybe purgatory, or they'll say hell, especially like on the Norrish map. They'll still have a hell, but they'll have the tree in the middle, and they'll show these planes of existence, the 9 worlds. Starting with Asgard and the dwarf world and all the rest of that bullshit. But anyway, I think that 3 is code for that. And what he's trying to do by saying simulation and simulation and simulation and a simulation thing is to keep the psyche in that I mean nothing mindset. So they move nothing in the psyche. They move nothing in the psyche or in the mind control. They just change the dialogue. But people are so deep in the mind control, nobody realized not only a contradiction, probably the greatest contradiction you can make in the shit is either something created us or we're created by accident. Mm-hmm. And they hitting you with both of those, and nobody's saying nothing because their minds haven't been changed. So they literally hear the same thing when he's saying it. This astrophysicist talking deep. And so anything that comes out of it, I don't really think that is going to go that far. Let me tell you this. This is why I think so, Rich. Because remember when people in the conscious community used to say, like, well, anything that they show us on TV, they really 10 years advanced. Right. You ever hear somebody say that? Yeah, they really got 10 more. Then I thought about it. Well, they showing this talking robot. And if they're 10 years or whatever in advance, what's stopping white people? Why don't they just unleash an army of robots, kill everybody, and just have a workforce that works forever for free? Like I don't get what's stopping them then. Like, what are they waiting for? You get what I'm saying? If they could do it, if they were 10 years in advance, that's definitely not true, because they would have been doing this. And if they could do it now, they would be doing it now. That means they're lying about that shit because they can't do it. And I'm starting to be on the side they can't do it. I think the ceiling is that dumb bitch they keep showing on TV. Hi, I'm Sophia. I want to take over the world. Like, I think that's as good as that shit. Or it may get a little bit better. They may have more, but they would unleash the hounds. There's another thing. You know, they're cloning this one, and that one got cloned. That one got cloned. This one got cloned. And then I'm like, well, if they just picking up any nigga they want and cloning them, like, who are they now? At what point? Who are they cloning? Like, who are they trying to hide it from?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If they could get anybody, who are they performing for? Like, you know, if I could, let's say Denzel. If I clone Denzel, like after a while, if I could get to him, that means I could get to anybody in the ghetto. So there's really no problem. Clone. So I don't think it's. They playing with it, but it's not really happening for them. Else, white people, they would have did it. I'm sorry, you was going to ask.
So they trying to fake it till they make it, like Trump. They trying. It seems like you know what it seems like. Panic, just like the Matrix movie. They need our energetic permission to do certain things or to perform certain rituals. So once we believe and once we give our energy into something, then they're able to pull off a World Trade Center. Or they're able to pull off whatever they want to pull off. If a million niggas believe they could do it, God, they could motherfucking do it. Then you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you. The only thing that makes anything real is somebody believing in it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So everything you just said is the absolute truth ritual. Like, they want to, if they could, the more minds they get to believe something, man, they ain't no such, man, whatever the Illuminati was, they ain't been that for a long time. They got a whole nother name. But they're the ones spreading the rumors. David Icke and them, who you believe is telling you about them. You ever notice he's the only one saying this shit along with the other 2 or 3 guys? Is only them. They are propaganda they talk like propaganda dudes from, if you listen to them old war movies when they're doing propaganda, the way not Jordan Maxwell, whatever, you know, these crazy white boys doing this shit. They're the only ones telling you this crap. So it's only really coming from them. So whatever the Illuminati was, they've been gone. But the rep in the name becomes so big just amongst yourselves that your belief in it is what actually makes it real. I mean, there was one point they was trying to play all Beyonce's records backwards.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. I am Satan. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Meaningless crap. Because they wanted to hear it. Because they wanted to. They believed, and now they had to find proof to back up what they already believed. And so now you'll hear Beyonce doing this, and then Beyonce and them figured it out and started putting on devil rings. If I'm gonna get more lights, you know what I mean? Let's get it. You know what I mean? Nobody. It seems they're like, no matter how much it connected with the Illuminati, it doesn't hurt record sales. So let's carry on. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, that Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a big disappointment. I don't really fuck with anything he says. And like those alien shows, that's all us. And we came down here with it. There's some channels been coming through. They are too wild for me to repeat.
Damn.
But like I'm seeing how consciousness came down here. You know what you gotta watch? Hold on, let me ask Khadijah what the fuck the name of that shit was. Khadijah, like when they make them pod people, I'm gonna tell you some shit that just was hitting me. Khadijah, what was that movie we was watching with Nicole Kidman and with the pod people?
Not They Live.
No. You was just watching. I thought you would do. You put me on, son.
Nicole Invasion?
Invasion. No, I don't think it was that. But yeah, when they couldn't go to sleep, um, don't worry about it, Khadija. So one of them pod people like the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and Nicole Kidman just did one, or the latest one. This is probably about 10 years old now. But I watched that shit because these was watching. I started watching it, and really, the Invasion is pretty much a bacteria. So when the bacteria hits you, the shit is wild. But see, this like I said, this shit is still fucking with me. It starts changing your DNA. It upgrades you. Now I started to see when you read that Gnostic shit. Y'all got that Gnostic shit, Rich. That's the shit to get into.
The Gnostic shit, okay.
The Gnostic shit. Anything on Gnosticism. They'll tell you how man was another animal on Earth. Pretty much the Earth or this matter realm was forming, right? And man was just another scavenger until these divine sparks of light, the Great Mother sent down and put it in man. That was his soul. And then that animated him and woke him up, and he became conscious. And then, of course, started to build, because ultimately he's trying to get back home. Mm. But what I was thinking, that same concept of, and they do these movies every once in a while, these fucking bacteria, and you can't go to sleep. Remember, melanin is a night worker when you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yo, what if?
It is the Invasion.
I said, what if? I said, what if melanin was just a bacteria with a consciousness that actually had to find matter to exist in, period. Or kind of like, the movie is called Invasion, Nicole Kidman. Watch the concept of it. And because, they become conscious and they start talking and they become unified. They stop fighting because it's like we're all one. So they were a quantum entity, but I think it was just saying melanin was a quantum entity. Just imagine the Invasion is melanin on regular humans when you watch it, and watch it from that perspective. And then put a whole nother concept on some of the stuff I've been studying about how consciousness, there was a man who was just another ape. And when, in the mythologies, when consciousness hit him, and some of that shit sound like an alien invasion. What if you watch, and there's another one when they were saying a bacteria landed, the bacteria was the alien. They did that in another Tom Cruise movie. That was that alien one, where they were spraying all that red shit all over the earth, but our bacteria killed them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. But I mean, long and short, I was going to go back to the studying of Richard King to see if, I know they identified melanin as carbon, but I'm gonna deal with Richard King and deal with some of the mythology to see if I can find a bacteria type edge or I'm just looking for things now in that perspective, I think. Let me just say that. Like I said, this is something that's still coming in my mind. So a lot of things are still popping in, but I'm trying to narrow that understanding down to what it is. So I have the channels and see where it leads me to study and all of that. But yeah, I was dealing with melanin as an invasion, but you got to watch this movie, and then you're gonna remember like 3-4 other movies that was just like this, and it may be commentary on something. And when I watched the Invasion, it just hit me. What if that was melanin? and I watched that movie from that perspective, I seen a whole different movie.
Wow.
The way it was it was like, we'll make you better. Like, well, it was like a simulating. It was like, we'll make you better.
You talking about Oblivion with Tom Cruise? Is that? No, okay.
So, no, it was the older one with Tom Cruise. War of the Worlds.
Somebody just
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
No,
okay.
War of the Worlds. The one when they was spraying the red shit all over the place. War of the Worlds.
Right.
And Invasion was the Nicole Kidman one. The old one from the 70s with Donald Sutherland, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the same kind of shit. Like, there's these pods that landed. You go to sleep, it takes you over, and you pretty much become a pod person. But ultimately, they had a simulated mind, like a beehive mind type thing. So everybody's going to frown on that. But that may also be symbolic of melanin's connection and our ability to communicate through the melanin too. But it may just be melanin that has the consciousness, and melanin went to sleep. See, another thing, they call melanin your spirit double. So if it came in and assimilates you, that's what the Ka is, your spirit double.
Right.
That's you know what I'm saying? So it's like it sounds like they show you it like it's another suit or something. You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying? It's weird. Like I said, I'm still in that mode where it's still coming in my head. I keep seeing that they always show they'll show Ka like this extra suit. They call it your doppelganger or your spirit double. So they keep showing the way it assimilates and the shit becomes you. And it coddles their thoughts as well. So it could go as far as like all this shit could be made up for us. It could be 1,000 things. And then I'm thinking of funny shit with it too. I said, well, I was talking about it a little bit with the DJ. I said, well, if that was true, then that would mean that the original man was actually a white man, like the regular white man that's out here. And we was laughing at this. I said he would have to be the regular white man that's out here, and all of that white power and aliens is actually true. And we were the ones that used to be white and got invaded by this melanin shit and changed. You know what I'm saying? And the melanin took over our minds, and it took over our minds. So we think we have all this heritage and history, all that shit made up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He said all that shit is made up.
Wow.
And only true white people know. So when they're crying, black people are taking over everything. Like, that shit's real. Like we must fight for the white race. That shit's real.
That's an advanced thought.
They were the original people, like human beings.
Yeah.
And then we were just like them. Boom, get hit with the melanin. You know what I'm saying? Niggas stand up, get taller, get black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's actually the alien consciousness, which is the melanin that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? We say it all the time. How you doing it? Because of my melanin. How you did that? Because of my melanin. How Michael Jordan jumped? Because of his melanin. It's almost like we say like it's another entity.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
or the aliens doing it.
That's some interesting shit you just said just now that I've never heard before.
Oh no, my mind will go. That's why I say no. It's still in my head. That's why a lot of dumb shit is coming out. But I'm just like forward thinking. And I took weed oil, that shit's kicking in. So like this shit is going everywhere right now.
That's some interesting shit there, man. God damn, Patty.
Yeah, we'd say, my melanin did it. How you do that? He did that with his melanin. How you gonna do that? You gotta activate your melanin. How you gonna talk to spirits? You gotta tap into that melanin. We give all our power to melanin.
Yeah.
As if our humanity knows. See, we don't really hear white people talk about their humanity and spirituality unless they copying us. We talk about it as if it's two people. What if it's the pure person that the body got occupied by this alien melanin, and that's the spirit that's animating you, and the humanity is just just in the sunken place right now. You know what I'm saying? Just in the sunken place while this shit is taking over. While all the white people that's left, that's why they want to live together. They don't want us living there because we're the aliens. And we would never know because the shit brainwashes you into a false history.
Damn, man. I mean,
I was like, oh,
you
shit,
created
man.
a whole new way of
Yeah, niggas ain't gonna catch. I got so many of these. I got so many of these left theories.
What kind of
that's only head theory. So I don't really talk about that shit to people. But I got so many of them shits. I was
Panic,
like, maybe
what
I just
the
wanna
fuck
quit,
is
man.
on your mind, Panic? What the fuck is on your mind, nigga?
But see, if I keep fucking with it, now me and Khadijah was joking about the second part, but you gotta follow the whole theory out. That's actually how you become wise. That's
definitely, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's how.
Like
yeah,
you
no,
gotta
that's what I'm
you
talking
start
about.
narrowing shit down.
Uh-huh.
Like, well, if it took us over and it does that like an invasion, that means white people would have to be that. So we know it's funny. We're laughing our asses off, and she's dying laughing as I'm saying it because it's still joking. But actually, what I'm doing is narrowing down, like seeing if these channels are actually panning out to something that makes sense. So if they make enough sense for me to share with people, oh yo, blah blah blah. If they don't, I just play with my own mind with it. But I'll just randomly think and BS. But you got to go on all these wild tangent theories.
Yeah,
I'm you doing that shit?
Listen, I'm glad to have a brother like you in our community that thinks outside the box.
Brother, we got to.
I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I appreciate you for
sir.
coming on tonight. We got over got over 1,000 people in the chat room, man. I appreciate all y'all being out there. It's 1:30 in the morning. We got 1,000 people in the chat room. I appreciate y'all for being here this late. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure if y'all like what Brother Panic was talking about, listen, man, ain't nothing like seeing Brother Panic live in person. And if you can't get the live stream, the information is on the screen. Get advanced tickets, godfrequency.eventbrite.com. Get the live stream at usalivestream.com/godfrequency. He will have the Panic packs on him if you're going to be in the building. He's going to have it on him. So be prepared to get it. But besides that, Panic, any last words you want to leave the people in preparation for and I got to get B.O.B. on here soon, my brother.
He's already trying to link up with your player. He's like, he got you.
But any last words for the people, my brother?
Yes. I'll be looking forward to seeing you on December 16th. Be there or be square. Come in peace or leave in pieces. You know what I'm saying? OGs and OGs. Everyone's going to be there. So it'd be a shame that you're not there. So come on down. We're going to have cornbread and stuff.
Yo, side note, Panic got the best turkey burgers ever. Yo, I went to Panic's crib. I'm filming a documentary. Yo, this dude throws down, man. This dude whipped up some turkey burgers real quick, family. Yo, this dude cooking.
Yeah, them shits was smoked to the smoke range.
I took some of them shits home with me on the plane. And as soon as I got home, it was like 2 a.m. My girl's like, "What you eating?" I'm like, "I gotta eat these turkey burgers for Panic, man. This shit." Panic. I didn't even wait till the next day. I ate them shits when I got home at 1 in the morning. Yo,
no doubt. Yeah, I like to hear those stories. Yeah. The next time you come, I'm gonna hook you up with a real ill spread. I'm gonna give you some real soul food. I'm gonna hit you off. Yeah. Cooking's my hobby.
We ain't know. The family did not know. So Panic could cook family shit.
Yeah, I have to do it so I don't kill nobody. Like,
man, that's what's up, man. Yo, listen. Thanks for coming on, Panic. This is Brother Rich, Brother Panic. We signing out. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yeah, peace.
Forgot I was still on, family. We signing out. Y'all all right? Oh, man. Forgot we were still on, family. I just hung up with Panic on the phone. I see the family still in the building. Listen, family, I really want y'all, man. This means a lot to me. And it's at the time, listen, this lecture is at the time of Sirius rising, at the time where, Christmas is about to start serious. And I'm going to get somebody, I want to get Booker T. Coleman on, because when I first got introduced to the Sirius Star constellation, Booker T's class is the one that introduced me to it. But December is a special time for melanated people, whether we realize it or not. And I want us to get some of this information at that time. It was done purposely around this time. There's a reason why corporations exploit this time in which we feel a certain way for their corporate needs with Christmas. We have to exploit this time for our own benefit, for our own consciousness uprising, for our own upliftment. And one way to do that, there's no better way to do that than to gain knowledge yourself and to understand who you are. That shit translates into reality. Listen, you ever seen a motherfucker meditating by a tree? And to an average person would be like, the fuck is that gonna do for me? This nigga meditate by a tree for 3 hours a day. The thing is that this physical reality is just a mirror. It doesn't even exist. It's just a mirror of what happens in this unseen realm in our minds. So him meditating by the tree, that peace that he experienced there, might translate to him getting a dream job. You know why? Let me explain this to you. Because the dream job is an example of peace. So him meditating by the tree is peace. By the time it hits your eyes, by the time it hits your reality and you can see it through your eyes and through your brain, it translates from the metaphysical realm, from the wavelength realm, into this particle realm as a form, as psychologically, whatever you deem peace, that's what it will appear as. That's why they say reality is relative. So we have different versions of peace. So if I'm meditating by the tree, envisioning peace, I don't even have to think of a particular thing. I could just be thinking of nothing and just experience peace. But depending on my personality and my psychology, in the future, that's going to translate into a certain reality in which I think is peaceful. So when you say, fuck that motherfucker, that shit ain't going to do, it does something. It translates to something later down the line because the universe understands feelings as frequencies. So this is why they say, be peaceful, be happy, be joyous, meditate, slow down your thoughts, because we get caught in a rat race. And that's what we continue to experience is the rat race. We get caught in a loop. But, all is mine. Yeah. Okay. How many of y'all, before I close out, how many of y'all coming to the conference or bought tickets to the live stream? That's what I want to know. Because if y'all stayed here at this time, y'all serious. Yeah, it's 1:30 in the morning. Who's coming to the conference or got the live stream? That's what I want to know. I want to know who's coming to the conference and I'm right. I got the names down, so I'm gonna see who's lying and who's not. But who's coming? I'm gonna fly out there. NRR, you flying? Patechi said he's flying. He or she is flying. King Salmon said the flyers are hitting the street hard. Lucky D said they're live streaming. Wacky J2012 is live streaming. Jacquees Agnet said he's in there. So, Kay says I'm planning on it. Riverside Tai Chi. My brother, you hit me. Damn, I got it. Riverside Tai Chi. He got the joint, the balance of joints at the end of the advertisement in the beginning of the video. Shout out to that brother, Riverside Tai Chi. Hold up, family. I'm going to get his brother a personal shout out right now. Because this is important to do. This brother here is serious about his business. All right, I got you, brother. Hold up. This brother here is serious about his business. He invests in himself, and that means a lot to me. Shit. I can't upload because it's PDF. All right, let me go, family. Go to riversideTaichi.com/joint balance formula sales. And maybe I think when I upload this video, I'm gonna put the link. I gotta put the link to all the businesses up there. But the brother, I wish the brother had a number up here. But the brother got this joint balance formula for healthy joints. You know, your bodies, and it's. I mean, the people been raving about it. You know, I haven't tried it yet. The people been raving about it. They come to my lectures asking for it, looking for it. So I'm like, what the fuck this brother got that people keep coming to me asking about it? So shout out to that brother right there in the chat room. I know the brother asked me about vending. Call the number on the flyer, Riverside Tai Chi for vending contact. And also call me, 646-472-4219. And I'll make sure you set up. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to that brother right there. All right, so what's the cost for the live stream? $25 for the live stream. Somebody asked, what's the cost for the live stream? $25 for the live stream. Yeah. So, somebody, Koba Fett says they could see the Sirius star constellation behind the house in Cali. They could touch it. They feel like they could touch it. That's what's up, man. Ain't nothing like seeing that. Yo, you see that constellation, it's like such a sense of peace and tranquility, or at least for me. You know what I'm saying? I always felt that way. Like, if anybody seen my prior broadcast, my live stream that I talked about, you know, it's special to me since I was 20 years old. So, definitely me. I tried to buy tickets, but it's not working. It's working. Is Brother Bobby still on the plane? Yes, Brother Bobby's on the plane. What's the website? The website is right on the screen. Everything is right on the screen. You can't miss it. It's right on the screen. And on the screen, it has information for advance tickets, live stream, the vending contact, and contact me personally. But it's right on the screen, so can't say you can't find information. People will have to find another excuse if they don't want to attend. But the information is right on the screen for those who really want to attend or really want to view. The Eventbrite website is fine. You have to type in, you don't type in www. That might be a problem. Just type in godfrequency.eventbrite.com. But don't type in, I think that might be an issue for some people. Just type in godfrequency.eventbrite.com. I don't know why it's like that with their website. That's some stupid shit. But see, I mean, Cloth Talk Champs. Well, you keep asking how to live stream, Cloth Talk Champs is right on the you have to be looking on the screen. I mean, this is what I'm trying to think, because maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective. You have to be looking at the screen. It has to say the God Frequency Conference, and you have to see where it says advanced tickets, live stream, vending contact, and for more info. You have to see this. So for you to keep typing, either you don't want to attend or you just want attention. Because what I'm saying is it's right on the screen, brother or sister. Look right on the screen. It's there. It's right there, family. I don't have time to babysit or bullshit with this. I need people. This is some serious shit. This is a serious lineup. You're not going to get this lineup again. This is a serious lineup that is hard to assemble these types of lineups together. These personalities. It's hard to put all of these personalities into one room. So when I put these personalities into one room, I need y'all to be serious. I need y'all to come with your pens and your pads. Y'all heard Brother Panic tonight. You know A.A. Rashid gonna come with his signs. Phil, Arlene Bay, the health with the sisters with their temples, everything going on with giving birth in the wombs and the fibroids and everything. Shit, y'all bring the gods into this dimension. That's the thing. Yo, the sisters is responsible for bringing the gods and goddesses into this dimension. Gotta know how to take care of that womb. Gotta know how to take care of your emotions. We come through y'all. Very important. The sisters, extreme. We play our roles, man. But the sisters right there, shit. We come through them. We gotta sit in them bro. Sis, man, this shit is serious, man. Make sure y'all there. Let me see. Let me look at some more of the comments before I close out. Yeah, godfrequency.eventbrite.com. Super 7 line. Is 7 speakers? Let me see. I never 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I didn't even know it was 7. Damn, that's spiritual within itself. 7 speaker lineup. Oh man. Yes. All right. All right, so I'm gonna close out now, family. Make sure y'all come up. I'm pulling up. Cloth Talk Champs. You ask all them questions. When you come to the conference, introduce yourself to me, my brother or my sister. I want to see you there, cause I would have give you a shout out and say, this brother or sister, he was in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate them coming through. Introduce yourself to me once you come through the conference. I want everybody out of town. Make sure you specifically ask, where's Brother Rich? Introduce yourself to me. I don't travel a lot, so I don't get to see y'all. So everybody coming out of, and you know what? Oh, another thing. I'm going to have information on hotels for the people tomorrow. I got Dr. Phil Valentine tomorrow night at 11. So information for hotels, the best hotels to get, I will have for the people that's coming out of town tomorrow. But if you're from out of town and you come into the lecture, introduce yourself to Brother Rich. I want to meet y'all. I want to see who supports and who watches my program from out of town. So everybody from out of town, make sure you introduce yourself to me personally, man. It means a lot to me that I get this out of town love, but I don't get to travel. And I got a family now. I just got to have my son. I got, I'm real wrapped up in my family life, so I don't get to travel as much as I would love to. Giving a lot of my attention to my family. My son, he got a great future ahead of him, man. I'm really working, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to be traveling a lot. I travel when I have to, you know what I'm saying, but not a lot. I can't go here and there and there and there, but I appreciate the out-of-town love. I really, 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 really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. But introduce yourself to me. Look forward to seeing you. And I am getting out of here. Family, I'm out of here. Appreciate all y'all for watching. This is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad. Make sure you support me on my Patreon supporters. I always have some special lineup for y'all. It's been a little hectic with the lecture coming up, but y'all know about the lecture. Y'all know what y'all gonna get. On my Patreon supporters, y'all know what y'all gonna get. Y'all get the best. So, this is Brother Rich. Love all y'all. I'm signing out, family. Peace.